Hello and welcome to the Annapurna Base Camp trek. This is Todd, and I trekked up there with my wife Regina. We were accompanied by a guide, Binod, and our porter named Krishna. And just to explain this map a little bit here, on the bottom axis, horizontal axis is in kilometers, so the total trek would have been about 77 kilometers, but we didn't. I actually did 68 kilometers. Regina did about 42 or 43, but more on that in a minute here. On the vertical axis, it's in meters, so we started out at about 1,000 meters and topped out at about 441.30 at Annapurna Base Camp at the end of day 4. At the end of day 1, we did an overnight at Grendruk, and I've got that highlighted with a black square there. Day 2, we did an overnight at Sinawa, and then day 3 we ended at Durali. Also, I have all of these in black squares there for you to be able to tell where they are. And day 4 was Annapurna Base Camp at 4130 meters, or 13,500. Day 5, though, however, Regina had some knee problems about halfway down, and we just kind of made a group decision that she wasn't going to be able to carry on much further, so she actually stopped at Durali. We were supposed to go to Bamboo for our overnight for day 5, but Durali is about as far as she could make it. So at that point, we made a decision where I was just going to continue on with Krishna, and she was going to stay with Binod and take a helicopter to Kathmandu. There's some bad weather that was coming in on that afternoon, so she wasn't able to fly out till the next morning. In the meantime, Christian and I, we were able to make it all the way down to Sinawa from ABC. We managed to do that in just a few hours or so. We sent all the gear and so forth on the helicopter, so we were a lot lighter than the 25 pounds that I actually trekked up with, and Krishna hauled up almost 50 pounds on his back. Then on the last day, I went from Sinawa down to Tolka, which is where there were some roads where we were able to take a taxi, and then I was able to carry on, and I did an overnight hotel, and then I met up with Regina on the following day. So this is the overall guide and trek that we did over the course of 4, 5, effectively 6 days. But we ended up back. We were supposed to be trekking for 7 days, but because of Regina's helicopter and me going down twice as fast as we were supposed to, we were able to get down in 6, and we actually left us with an extra day of shopping. So here's a series of videos from the trek up and partway down, and we hope you enjoy them. Welcome to Nepal, everyone. This is Todd. Regina is in front of us. This is actually day 2 of our trek to Annapurna, and we are just about to cross a bridge. We just got done coming down from about 2150 meters or so. We're now down around 1800, crossing this bridge, and then we'll be going back over there and up that hill. Came from. And we're going to start going back up. That blue shack is where we came from. In the last video you couldn't really see it because we were down more in the valley down there. What we've done today is we've gone up about 200 meters, dropped down about 400, and then went back up about 450 up to that point, and now we're slowly kind of like leveling off a little bit. There's the river that we actually crossed several hours ago across the bridge. I think that's the same river. I'm being called. We're hiking through the hills. This time we are actually going across the hills now. Gina's taking a panoramic. And looks like the workers are harvesting or planting. Traffic jam. Got some water buffalo in front of us. Hello. And off they can go. One of the many things we have to do on this trail, watch out for animal dung everywhere. Like right there. So for the rest of day 2 here, this is going to be our trek where Regina's going. And way down those houses down there. Way down the valley. Up, 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 up. And in the distance there, you can barely make out some blue tea houses there. We're going to be spending the night in one of those houses. Actually, I think it's the one right below the blue house there. So we're actually almost at about the same elevation, but we have to go way down first and then back up. See you there. And before we get to our overnight stay, we've got this little crossing bridge. We've dropped down quite a bit. Gina, take a picture here. We dropped down probably about 800 feet through a ridiculous number of steps. Basically just 2 beds and a small light, no outlets, and walls that are paper thin, so you could hear everything and everyone that anyone ever said. Gina is taking a picture right now. She thinks that's funny. She's waving hi. This is where we're going to eat breakfast. This is our guide. And so this is where we're going to be taking off from. Today is going to be mostly an uphill climb day. We're going to go from here to about 3,100 meters, and the temperature is going to drop from about where it is right now, maybe about 20 Celsius or so. It's going to drop down to the low teens, maybe even like 12 or so for the overnight, or for the daytime high it'll drop down to about maybe 6 or 7 Celsius during the overnight. So that's where we're going to be for right now, and we'll pick this up on the trip. Crossing a bridge just outside of Dovan. about 20 minutes outside of Dovan. This one looks a little bit more primitive than the last one. There was an avalanche here a couple of weeks ago, and you're looking at it, kind of blocking the path here for us here, so we will have to make our way through the snow. By the way, we were at about 2,800 meters, so off we go. Now at the Himalaya, which is the second to last stop, or the last stop before our overnight town. Forget where that's at, but I'll tell you later. There was an avalanche that came from up there. Just barely missed the buildings. Down, down, down. Sorry. All the way down. Now it's all feeding into the raging river down below. This is what a lot of our climbing kind of looks like. Rugged and steep. Well, actually we have a lot of steps, but this is kind of the first time that we've had like some serious rocks. So we're about at 2,900 meters, which is about 10,000 feet. No, 9,000 feet. The air, we can definitely feel the air starting to get a little thin here. So onward and upward we go. We got about another 100 meters higher to go till we get to our overnight stop, which is the night 3, and then night 4 will be at ABC at 4,100 meters, 14,000 some change. So I'll see you up there. We're almost at the end of day 3, and we have a big avalanche kind of blocking our way. Yeah, Regina doesn't like crossing snow. We've already had to cross over one avalanche already, actually technically 2. So, but this is a big one. And they actually had to close this route for a couple of weeks according to our guide. And up there is a lot more snow, and that snow might release at some point in the future. Very cloudy in the hills here. Welcome to Wednesday, March 29th. Sadly, it's my birthday, but we won't talk about that. Anyway, so we have a great view at our overnight stay at 3. It's Durali. We're at about 3,200 meters, which is about 10,200 feet. Actually, it's the highest altitude I've ever actually stayed in, hotel or otherwise. Tomorrow will be at 4,100 or so. So, just going to pan around. That's actually where we came from yesterday. That is the massive avalanche that came down about 2 weeks ago that we actually had to cross, kind of navigate over top of on our way here. So, I'm just going to pan around here. The sun is up, even though you would not really know it because we're kind of in a valley here. So down there's the river where all the water kind of drains into. Keep panning around. Yesterday this was all fog covered. We couldn't see any of this, but now we can because it's generally a lot clearer in the morning, and then it gradually gets cloudier and foggier as the day goes on, and that's kind of been the pattern for every single day. So, and right through there is kind of like the room that we stayed in. We're all ready to go. We have our cold weather gear on. It's okay. She's waiting for a selfie. So the temperature's probably about 4 or 5. So, well, it might actually be 0. 32 Fahrenheit. So it is quite cold. And yes, there's no heaters in the room, so you pretty much have to sleep in a sleeping bag. So here we are, and we'll be filming on the way out. Time to cross the river. All the snow is melting as it's springtime now. Amazing. And we just hope we don't fall in. believe him. Safely across. In the valley between hills. Just like he said yesterday. Can't really see much other than the mountain that's in front of us. Pan 360 degrees. Kind of sort of where we came from, back there. Being summoned. More nice pretty stream. Same valley. Just got a picture taken together by our guide. More awesome views as we trek through this valley. We'll actually go right up to the front of the big mountain that's up in front of us, and then we'll kind of dog-leg to the left. And that's going to be MBC, which is a little rest stop for us. That should be in about an hour and a half or so to get there. And another 500 meters up to ABC. So, fantastic view. That's all I got to say. This is what we've been dealing with for about the last hour. Mostly snow climbing. Very slick, very tough. This here actually has a little bit of exposed, which is nice. But by and large, it's been all snow. Very, very slick, very hard. This is where we came from. Up from the valley, and we're already dog-leg to the left. So we're at about 3,700 now. We're at our rest stop, our lunch break, or just a rest stop, before we finish up to go into ABC, the Annapurna Base Camp. So we're going to be taking a little break right there. So we just got done climbing about 1,500 feet. So we're a little out of gas. We're over 11,000 feet now. And Reggie's dying. And most of that trekking was all in snow too, so we're pretty much going at about 1 mile per hour, or 2 kph or so. So very slow, but we're getting there. Yes. Yeah, we're not sure how Regina's going to quite get down the hill yet, because it's all very slick. Okay, into the tea house we go. And here we are after lunch. The clouds have rolled in. Can't see anything. Barely see 200 yards in front of us. There's mountains out there. We'll just follow the tracks. Although you really can't see anything, because we've been hiking in this fog and clouds for a couple of hours now. I think we're almost 4,000 meters now. So I kind of took a break from filming. But we're well above the tree line now, so there's no trees up here. There's just pretty much just some shrubs and whatnot, but it's just all just snow everywhere. So, Regina. shedding my winter coat here. We'll get down to the next site at NBC. In probably about 2 minutes. And there's a doggy. Clear still, you can actually see ABC and NBC from the same spot. Pan over. Down there is NBC. Difference is about 400 meters. Yesterday it took us about 2.5 to 3 hours to go between these two going up. Today it'll take us probably less than 40 minutes going down. The faster way down.
Wow, that was fun.
There you go. I think this song is kind of appropriate. She'll be coming round the mountain when she comes. She'll be coming round the mountain when she comes. She'll be coming round the mountain. Coming round the mountain. Coming round the mountain when she comes. She'll be riding 6 white horses when she comes. She'll be riding 6 white horses when she comes. She'll be riding 6 white horses. Riding 6 white horses. Riding 6 white horses when she comes. Regina does not seem amused. Sometimes it's just easier just to slide down. There you go. Stay in the groove. Now we're finally making time. That's where we came from. And getting close to the river now. We're about 3/4 of the way down from ABC to Darali. All the snow melting from the Himalayas coming on down. Eventually, this water will all make its way into India and probably and then all the way out to the sea. It's about 11:20 in the morning on March 31st still. Gone about 7 kilometers in about 3 hours and 15 minutes or so. We're just taking a little 5 or 10 minute break. We survived the Chimaran 2200 step stair climb. That was hellish, but we're long past that point right now. Just kind of pan over here. Kind of see where we're at. It's probably part of the same river that we were at about 2,500 meters higher. So Regina is successfully boarded the helicopter and she's now in Kathmandu. There was some bad weather that was down at the lower altitudes that prevented the helicopter from taking off for about an hour and a half or so, but eventually it managed to pick her up at near Darali, which is where she spent the overnight. And so she's now in Kathmandu. So I'm hoping that we'll be at our end point, maybe 3:30, 4 o'clock or so. We'll see how it goes. I'll be taking a lunch here at the next stop in about another hour and 20 minutes. This is just a rest stop. So there we have it. And I'll see you soon. Babies. Looks like some of them went the wrong way.